go back and watch this video. I'm going to keep this video short. I think you guys should go watch that video. I think that there's a very specific group of individuals that I've somewhat touched on in the videos that I make on my channel, because you guys know me, and I've told you that in the things that I've taught you, that people who are neurodivergent, who have extrasensory capacities, and who also we just have an extended grasp on reality. And I had begun a while ago to teach on that because there was, I think there was a PhD grad who kind of did a video on, he was wondering if neurodivergence makes people misperceive the fact that they might be have extrasensory capacity, psychic or whatever, because extreme pattern recognition enables you to predict. And it's very quite sure. I mean, that is to a certain extent true. So on my channel, you guys know, I gave you guys the bookshelf example that there are some of us who are like everybody else. Some people can only reach the amount of information that's available on that bottom shelf, right? You can see my junky bookshelves back there. And then some of us can go all the way up to the top, and we have access to more information and a broader grasp of reality than most human beings do. It took me a very long time to realize that people aren't playing. Like, I'm not trying to say that people aren't playing with a full deck from the sense that they're crazy, because yeah, MAGA shows you that people have been they've been gaslit so long that they've suffered brain damage. And when you don't live in reality and your self-concept is based upon lies like white supremacy, and you continue to invest in the lie, and you couple that with like white supremacized religion, whatever form it comes in, and you couple that with a society which shows you that your whiteness, for your family and the people around you, like your whiteness does not quite give you the level of privilege that it does others. And that's because the system is designed that way. White supremacy is used to lure people in to reaffirming the position of the very, very top few people, right? Because capitalism, white supremacy is a pyramid scheme. If you guys have not realized that, welcome to my classroom and just watch my videos. But let me circle back around to what I was talking about. So when I was telling you about some people, and I tell people to stop thinking about their capacities as being supernatural, because it's not. Because people don't. If you have a greater grasp on reality and a greater grasp on and access to the capacity that a human being actually has, right? When people just think they have five senses, it's bizarre. And for a very long time, I sat in a weird position of thinking, well, maybe everybody was like me. You know, everybody should be able to have a firm grasp on reality, but not just the reality, but the fullness of it. And I had to realize that most human beings are like the people in Plato's cave. They are literally just, they interpret reality. They interpret as the fullness of reality, the shadows on the cave wall, and they've adapted themselves to understanding that that is all there is. And so when people who ascend beyond like their head just staring at the shadows on the cave wall, and you can see more than that, like people like that seem cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And people will in the end try to unalive those people, to enchain and whatever, those people who have a greater grasp on reality. So most people just don't talk about what they know. You just try to capitalize on it. 10 out of 10. There are some things that I will never say because I still want to be able to do them, so I can, whatever. Anyway, but like I said, I still haven't put that video out. I said I still can't get lottery numbers. Like that burns my grits till no end. But I also know that if I do that, and I exceed the scope of a certain amount of money, There are a couple of things that I need to be doing that may not necessarily get done, but that you're not gonna understand that. And but if you know, you know. So I think you guys know I'm a yapper. I'm not an actual yapper. Um, I am the kind of person who had to take that potential of yappiness, like being able to talk about something at no end, to strangers. And I had to pull that out of myself because what I realized is something that he's getting at in the other video is that when you receive a lot of data, and I told you guys, many of us are like, we have that Iron Man. It's like being an Iron Man. It's too much information, and he talks about it. Especially if just being an empath is hard enough. It's hard enough, and you have to start learning how to at a very young age. If you don't, if you don't have somebody around you who's an empath, and you don't have somebody teaching you, like, what do you do with this data? Like, you're like, Pervy McLurv, oh my God, has a problem with insignificance. Oh my God, you keep having these weird arguments with your husband. So you start full on trying to control everybody in your environment because you will have no peace. But that's not the way you do it. You have to learn. It's one of the things that I need to put out content on this. I'm looking at my notes over here. You guys can't see it. I would show you, but I have my address on an envelope. So anyway, but you have to learn. And what I'm getting at in this comment, I'm going to use some very much so words that seem esoteric. You have to learn what to do with the information, in short. And you're going to receive a lot of data, right? So you got to learn how to allow the data to come in. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, and what I'm talking about seems absolutely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, keep scrolling. If you want to know how to deal with, because he's talking about geniuses of color. And I don't even like to use the word genius, because as I've told you guys before, there are a group of children, a series of children, because what neurodivergence is, believe me or not, it's evolution. It's just evolution. It is an adaptation of the human species. You see, people are trying to figure out, how do we get from here to here, right? People always picture that what is the ape? That visual where you see the ape, aping along, and then he like walks, right? And people see that as evolution. Neurodivergent, people should see it. It's horrific if you're not able to cope with it, but neurodivergence really is it's just evolution. And the thing that I've taught you all before is that it's an evolution that appears as though we're going from here to here. What human beings don't understand, and for those who know, human beings, your capacities were stunted. Okay. I teach you guys the forward trajectory of men. You keep thinking you've gone from rock to bullet, and you see nuclear bombs as like your zenith, and you're thinking Mars is where where you're trying to get to, and that's a scam. But you're literally at the ape stage. You're actually capable of doing a lot more, and you were stunted, knocked off of your this clear scope and set of capacities. And I know what I'm saying is crazy, but those who know, you know. And so neurodivergence is the U-turn. Okay, so that's a good example. Neurodivergence is the U-turn. Okay, it was once thought that religion could take human beings back to the position of then being able to be allowed to have the full set of capacities that they originally were supposed to have and could have. But religion does not clean up the human character. Humans just do a go around, and they fold their evil into their religion, and they justify and deify themselves. So I do a lot of work of deconstruction on this app. But I think, I'm going to keep this has gone too long. I think it would be healthy on my channel that I go ahead and start talking about this subject for you all, because I know it all. I can sense it. you are out there and you don't know what to do, and somebody's gonna have to do it for you for free.